Welcome into the Cowboys Report, live right now on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Rumble as well. I am your host, Tom Downey, here for the next hour plus, hour on YouTube, Facebook, even longer on Rumble, where we're doing Cowboys Report after hours, and I get to swear a lot on today's show. Before we get going with the news and rumors, a 7-round mock draft as well, there was some major NFL news. Bobby Wagner has signed with the Los Angeles Rams. I should probably put that in the title of the description, by the way. I'm going to do that right now. Would you have paid Bobby Wagner 5 years, $50 million? The initially reported number. Now, Jeremy, you also run our Ravens channel here. That's producer Jeremy Chuggs, by the way. Would you have paid that if you were Baltimore?
So I'm going to do a coward's answer.
Okay.
Just because I work with Tom so much, and I'm just used to hearing him.
The special hand signal I'm making, you'll find out on Rumble only.
Tom would know those aren't going to be the actual numbers of the contract. It's going to be probably more of like a 2 or 3 year deal worth maybe half that and guaranteed maybe 25, 30 mil. If I was the Ravens, I would do that. I think it just came to Bobby Wagner kind of wanting a revenge tour against the Seahawks, playing them twice a year. Plus, I mean,
he's from LA too.
He's from LA, and going to the Super Bowl champions, it's kind of hard to pass up. I think the Ravens wanted him. I think it was back and forth, and it was a last-second decision where Bobby Wagner just maybe edge out like the Rams a little bit more than the Ravens.
I can see that being the case there. I will say the live pinned poll right now is 55% no, 45% say yes. We knew the Cowboys were out on Wagner. We've known they've been out on Wagner even before Stephen Jones said no. Stephen Jones straight up telling reporters, yeah, we're not going to make that deal go down there. So let me know. Would you have paid Wagner? S for sign, P for pass. Make sure you vote on that. Make sure you vote on that pin poll, by the way, there. Now, we also got a super chat coming in from Cool Sharky. Wagner is $3 million a year cheaper if you don't sign Leighton Vander Esch. So, yeah, that does impact how you judge the salary cap hit year one and et cetera. It's a 2-year deal, though, for Leighton Vander Esch. So, you're right. They wouldn't have signed Leighton Vander Esch. So, if we want to portray it as it was a $8 million a year deal for Wagner, I get where you're coming from. Because you're right. Had they signed Wagner, I don't think they would have brought back Leighton Vander Esch at all. But the Cowboys were never in that mix. And it is up to $65 million for Wagner, but I would doubt those. I would bet those incentives are almost exclusively based on Super Bowl. Yeah. So who do you want in round one? That's our next question here. Who do you want to take in the first round of this year's NFL draft? Get your votes in for me in the comment section here. Kenyon Green from Dusty Rhodes. Tyler Linderbaum from Nick McLean. Daniel says Kenyon Green. Dak from Peter says offensive line in round one. It's what Jerry told you they were going to do. Trade up for Kyle Hamilton from producer Jeremy. Jahan Dotson, Edge, BPA, Linderbaum, Zion Johnson, Jordan Davis, Linderbaum, Johnson, Kenyon Green. Get another corner. I don't think corner is even a need for you. We're going to do team needs on Rumble only later on tonight, and I didn't put corner on there. I didn't. Offensive line, Linderbaum, Chris Olave, Derek Stingley, Zion Johnson, Treylon Burks, or Dean, or Davis, Kyle Hamilton. Trade back, get more second-round picks. Okay. Sam Williams in round 2 or 3. What's up, Chugs?
I got a quick question.
Yeah, fire away, as your votes come in.
How many of y'all in the comments are not in on y'all's second-round pick last year? Kelvin Joseph.
Yeah, that's what always confuses me.
It feels like everyone is already out on him. Everybody's like, we need a corner. Well, Kelvin Joseph is done.
Here's what I don't get. Anthony Brown played well. Jordan Lewis played at least average for you. You spent a second-round pick and a top 100 pick on a corner, and people were like, give me another corner. I'm like, but wait, we were all clamoring for Joseph to play last year. So are we already out? And if you're out on him, okay, that's fine. Sure. Many of you owe me apologies if that's the case, but I see Kelvin Joseph sucks. Spent a second-round pick on him. Are we out on already? Can't just keep throwing premium assets at corner. Gotta invest elsewhere. Someone says I'm in on Kelvin. Me too. So play him. You can't draft a corner because then you're going to sit Joseph or Brown and you're going to sit two of Brown and Lewis.
I feel like especially with corners, the second year is whenever you see that jump.
Yeah, I mean, we saw with Diggs.
Yeah.
And, like, if you want to take a corner just to take a corner, okay, I think it's a premium position. I'm fine with that. But, like, you're going to just take someone and then trade away somebody. So, like, is that really a big need?
Well, it's like if you draft a corner in the second this year, then it's like, are y'all just going to wait until next year and be like, oh, well, we don't want him anymore either?
What we've done with defensive line for 3 years in a row almost. So get those votes in who you want the Cowboys to draft. And we will also spend more time talking about Michael Gallup. What week, regular season, will Gallup make his return from his ACL tear? Is it week 1, 2, 3? Is it preseason? The Cowboys are now telling you, maybe he's not back and ready to go week 1. Maybe. Maybe that ends up being the case. I see 7, 4, 6, 4, 2, 3, 2 or 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 5, week 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 3, hopefully 1 from Joshua. Nobody actually thinks week 1, though. I think it's kind of right. It's going to require time. They're not going to rush into it from that perspective. Now, that means the Cowboys have to figure out what's going on in terms of the offensive line or the receiving core in the short term. And that ties into the super chat from Everything Rusty Cage. I think the boys will draft a receiver or round 1. They will consider it, and they are considering it. They absolutely are considering it.
I think the only way that happens if there's another CeeDee Lamb situation. If Garrett Wilson or Traylon Burks or somebody falls to you that is Cowboys' number 1 receiver on the board, that's the only way.
Or if your interior offensive linemen are gone. But they brought in for 30 visits Drake London, Traylon Burks, and Chris Olave. So there is interest in those guys. Now, they might take offensive line instead, which I would not be mad at. But there is at least a possibility the Cowboys go receiver again in the first round. I don't think that's what ends up happening. I think one of those offensive linemen will be there for you. But I think that is a very real possibility for the Cowboys. So I'm going to lean towards no, probably not. But I wouldn't rule it out altogether. Question of the day. Would you draft a kicker this year? Would you do it? Why for yes and for no? You lost, for some of us, me included, your other kicker. I can say his name now. He's gone. Bad man gone. Greg Zuerlein. So would you draft one? Why for yes and for no? He can't hurt me anymore, at least until the Cowboys put the Jets, and then he's good. I can do it in the 6th round. I don't want to spend anything earlier on that than a kicker, because the track record of taking kickers is not good. I feel like the reason why you draft a kicker is he's going to start for you immediately and be good. And that's not what history tells us. So 6th, absolutely not, Jeremy. 4th round kicker, I think you're all insane. Now, you have 4 5th-rounders, so if you use your last one, okay, fine. But no. Pretty good players on the board for you. Remember how excited we all were about Bradley and I, which of course did not end up working out. But we were all excited. That was the pick. And Tyler Biadasz and 6th-rounders. You've had a great run of safeties. Anthony Brown, Xavier Woods. That's DBs, I guess. You can find good players. So the hit rate of kicker versus other positions isn't that different in the 6th round. So maybe invest in the more premium one. So look, I'm not taking one in the 4th. Someone says unless we get an Evan McPherson type. Which is the problem. If you promise me Evan McPherson, I'll take him in the 3rd or 4th rounder, no problem. But you can't promise me that. You can't promise me that. People told me Roberto Aguayo was going to be a star, and he was ass. Oh, I'm sorry, we're not on Rumble yet. Cheeks, thank you. So no, I don't want to spend a premium pick. They better be right. They told you Zuerlein was great all year. And they were wrong. So, don't start with me, Jeremy. Grade the Cowboys offseason so far. Then we'll get to Andrew Espalada's super chat here. Grade it. A, B, C, D, or F. I think we can save it for the mailbag. I think we save it for the mailbag, Jeremy. Andrew, we see your super chat. We'll save it for the mailbag, my friend, which will be coming up here in a little bit. I give it a C-ish. They've done what they've done the past couple years. Similar strategies in 2020 and 2021. Cheap, buy low guys. Sometimes that works out wonderfully. Guys like J-Ron Curse, they brought back Malik Hooker. Now, of course, they would have never paid those caliber of players that money on the open market, but because they were their own guys, they liked them, was a disaster in 2020, where they missed on pretty much everybody that they tried to sign. So I get to see. Let me know what you guys think, A, B, C, D, or F. What do you think is the biggest Cowboys need right now? At the end of today's live show, on YouTube and Facebook, we're going to end it. Cowboys Report After Hours will be on Rumble only. We'll break down all of the needs. If we get to 1,000 Rumble followers on Rumble before then, y'all can have a good laugh at me as I fail miserably to try Das Boot, which Guinness. Look, it's a terrible idea to do Irish car bomb, but if we get there, maybe. 1,000 followers on Rumble. It's rumble.com/CowboysTV. That link will be in the live chat. It's in the comments as well. We're at 787, so we got a long way to go. Jeremy doesn't think you guys can do it. He has no faith in you. We'll see if it happens there. All right, Lone Wolf, a super chat here. And we'll save the other ones from Demetrius and Andrew for the mailbag coming up here in a little bit. Do you like me clipping the I like Cox part from yesterday's video? I mean, yeah, I did that on purpose. I knew exactly what I was saying. I thought it was pretty funny there in the end. Producer Jeremy is getting bonked for this one. 69 likes, and we'll get going. We're 9 likes away. We have a shot at the screenshot this time around. As I do the 69 bit once again. I feel like we're going to blow right by it, but that's all good there. So again, like the video if you want us to get today's show going. Break down what's coming. Oh, 69 likes. We got it. We did it. Chase, get in here. There we got to 69 likes. Here's what's coming up. We're so mature here at the Cowboys Report. We will never change. Here's what's coming up on today's live show. Latest news and some rumors on the Cowboys. Heavy draft focus on today's show. That includes the mailbag. Again, super chat like Ethan and Demetrius and Andrew did. We'll get to yours during the mailbag. Mailbags, I should say. 2 of them, of course. 7-round mock draft as well. I went through each pick for the Cowboys. Didn't quite go the way I thought it was going to, but I think I recovered well enough there. And Rumble After Hours only on Rumble. That's rumble.com/CowboysTV. Go follow us on that platform if you have not already. By the way, that'll be team needs focused and maybe a beer boot if we get to 1,000 Rumble followers by the end of that segment. So that's all what's coming up here right now on the Cowboys Report. This is the Dallas Cowboys Report by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey, and there's some major NFL news that does still kind of sort of impact the Dallas Cowboys. Bobby Wagner's picked his destination, and no, it is not with the Cowboys or even with the Ravens. He is signing with the Los Angeles Rams on a reported 5-year, $50 million deal up to $65 million. The guaranteed money, not yet known at this point. Although it might be a little bit less than that when the actual numbers end up coming in. So be honest with me right now in the comments section. Would you have paid Bobby Wagner that contract? 5 years, $50 million. Type in S for yes, you would have. You would have signed him to it. Or type P for nah, you would have passed. Let me know and be honest with me in the comments right now. Let's talk rumors then for the Cowboys. How about Derek Stingley to Dallas? I'll give it 1 star, as we'll get into why more momentarily. But Mike Tannenbaum, the disaster of a GM who now works for ESPN, mocked Stingley to the Cowboys at number 24 overall. Now, Stingley entering this year was very much the clear-cut number 1 corner in this year's class. But his 2021 was too similar to his 2020 and not enough like his 2019. He has missed a ton of time the past 2 years. There are questions about, is he an alpha? Is he healthy? Medical matters a lot there. And was he hurt, or did he just kind of, we were bad, didn't want to play anymore? Those are all real concerns NFL teams have. Here's what Tannenbaum wrote on the why he mocked Stingley to Dallas. Imagine Trayvon Diggs and Stingley covering up opposing receivers. There is incredible potential there. Stingley is an intriguing yet confusing prospect. At his best, he's one of the top 3 or 4 players in the entire class. But his injury history and uneven play create a lot of risks. At number 24 overall, Dallas could get a steal if he plays anywhere near his ceiling. Stingley, at his best, is the best prospect in this year's class. His coverage stats in 2019 as a freshman in the SEC were incredible. He was so good. If the years were reversed, if he was on the upward arc instead of the downward arc, we'd be talking about him being a top 3 lock. Like, I would doubt he would be able to get past the Houston Texans at that point. Stingley, from a pure talent perspective, should not be on the board. Frankly, in the end, I don't think he ends up on the board anyway. And you know what? If he is on the board, does that actually make you more concerned? Because Stingley should not fall to 24. If he does, that makes you, in the back of your mind, go, you know what? Maybe there's something even worse about the medical than what we thought. Maybe there's something even more troubling personality-wise than some of the things that have been said about Stingley. So if he does fall, it actually might be a bigger red flag than where we sit right now. So who do you want the Cowboys to draft in round 1? I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know who you want the Cowboys to draft at number 24 overall. Let's talk Gallup now, then we'll come back to some more draft talk, but receiver is important for that next part. Is he not going to be ready for week 1? I'm going to give it 3 stars. The back by training camp always seemed like propaganda from his camp. Never really bought that one. And now Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, said something similar here. Says that Gallup might miss a few weeks to start the regular season. The Cowboys are not going to rush Gallup back from injury. Why would they? This was a longer-term move by the organization when they signed Gallup to that 5-year deal with outs after 2 years if they needed to, if he doesn't come back all the way. So they want to protect their investment. Long-term is how this team always views things, much to many people's chagrin, distrust, anger, etc. But if Gallup does miss time week 1, this receiving core is not in great shape, folks. That leaves CeeDee Lamb and James Washington and maybe Simi Fehoko. Maybe you believe in the breakout years from Fehoko and Vasher with like 7 career snaps combined as a 5th-round pick in a UDFA. Cool. Probably not an assumption you want to make. You're happy if that ends up being the case, of course. So you need help at wide receiver, especially since Washington is being paid the vet minimum. His contract is not indicative of someone the team is banking on being a key part of the receiving core. It is a, hey, if we're lucky, he's our 3. If not, he can be our 4 or our 5. So you're hoping for eventually 2019 Gallup to return, which 2020, quarterback was hurt. 2021, he was hurt. So I think Gallup will be back. I think he'll be a good player for you. I just don't know if it's going to be in week 1. So what do you think? What week will Gallup make his return? Is it week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever? Let me know in the comments section. The Cowboys Report is also on Rumble. We do Cowboys Report after hours roughly every other week or so on that channel. Plus, when I drop F-bombs, I don't get censored. We are still trailing, however, our Giants channel. And I would very much like to catch them today, because I'm tired of Marshall Green lording it over me because he's got nothing good to talk about his actual team for. So go follow us, rumble.com/CowboysTV. Now we'll come back to draft and receiver. How about taking Jameson Williams? I kind of want to speak this into existence a little bit, so I'll give it 2 stars. Now, I do think the team would be worried about taking 2 receivers coming off ACL tears or having 2 receivers coming off ACL tears, but he's good at the whole football thing, so yeah, I would like to get him. Sports Illustrated, actually a guy I've known for a long time, Jeremy Brenner, explored Williams as a draft target. And look, I don't know if Jameson's good to go week 1. We'll see on the timing there. But he would bring something this team doesn't really have in the same level of what Jameson Williams is currently able to do. That is that true speed element. James Washington's a vertical threat. He ran a 4.54. Williams had he been healthy and had he been, at that peak level that he would have ran at the faster track at Indy, I think he might have set the record for fastest 40-yard dash time this year. Here's what SI wrote, and I got thoughts on this. Williams will likely fall to the early second round, but the Cowboys have the 24th pick, too high, 56 too low. If the Cowboys wanted to get Williams at the right value, it could be in a trade-up or trade-down scenario. I actually think that's the case. In fact, as a gambling man, I think Jameson's gone by pick number 24. That's why I almost gave it 1 star instead of 2. I think that, and I know, and this is from Dane Brugler, who I trust completely when it comes to draft stuff, multiple teams have Jameson Williams as their number 1 receiver in this year's class. I would be surprised if he fell to pick number 24, because look at his numbers. That's a home run threat, man. And had it not been for the ACL tear, we would have been talking about Jameson Williams as a top 10 pick, if not a top 10 lock. So I have a very tough time seeing him get all the way down to 24, given the pure level of talent that we're dealing with here. I do think, by the way, there is a chance the Cowboys take a receiver in round 1. What do you guys think? Would you like that move or no? There is, of course, the logical disconnect of saying, yes, we will trade away Amari Cooper and then immediately drafting a receiver in round 1. Welcome to the Jones era. Would you do it, though? Why for yes and for no? Now, if you want daily videos on the Cowboys, you guys have come to the right spot. Subscribe on YouTube. That's probably where you're watching this video right now. It's youtube.com/CowboysTV. So if you haven't already, hit that big red button and join us for daily videos to get to 130 as we move closer and closer to doubling up the alleged tax evading, cheating Commanders. That's the claim out there. 2 books. We don't do that here. Hit that big red button and subscribe. One last story here. Could Brent Urban be making his way back to the Dallas Cowboys? I'll give this 2 stars. Kind of buried in a rather lengthy and good Todd Archer article from today was that Brent Urban could return to the Cowboys, unlike, say, Keanu Neal and Maurice Kennedy. Now, Urban missed most of last year with injury. I was very excited about his addition because he offers the run stopping that I wanted at defensive tackle. Ended up being part of because of injury. Carlos Watkins served that role pretty well. So Urban, I think, could end up returning to Dallas, most likely as a post-draft re-signing, depending on how the draft process goes. If they spend a top 100 pick, probably not. If they don't draft anybody, maybe. The recovery from injury also still a big factor in if and when Urban ends up re-signing with the Cowboys, because they've got bodies right now on the defensive line. You've got former top 75, I think it was also top 75, Oso was close there, and Neville Gallimore, Odigizua, and Tristan Hill, top 75 picks. Carlos Watkins, Quinton Bohanna. So that's what you had last year. So if you had to, you could roll it back and hope for growth. Doesn't mean you have to do that, however. I want you now to grade the Cowboys offseason while I sip some water here. Yeah. That's what it is. I realize now that was profoundly dirty. Thank you for pointing that out, Chugs. I probably should have said just run it back. It would have been better, but yeah, that was bonk. Grade the Cowboys offseason so far. A, B, C, D, or F. Unsurprisingly, that is a lot of C's in there. I mean, that's what I gave it. We're all kind of in agreement there. We would have felt better if they'd kept Gregory and or hadn't lost Gregory.
It's just tough, like a C plus offseason plus. You only have the second best quarterback in the division.
Stop it.
That's wild,
we did
man.
Body Cowherd for them. But even you agree with that, Jeremy. We're in agreement there. I was able to unite Cowboys fans and Eagles fans together of like, no, Carson Wentz sucks. It was pretty funny. So, you're welcome. Yeah, it's that. It's not quite right, but it's like, yeah, we agree. It's Carson Wentz. There you go. Yeah. Sure, someone give it a G. F is by G on the keyboard. Maybe he meant F. G for good, maybe? Don't know. Get those votes in, and it is mailbag time. Super chats from Demetrius, Ethan, DeLunatic, Freddie F., Andrew. We see yours. We'll get to those early on as part of this upcoming mailbag. But if you don't want to super chat, it's all good. Use hashtag Cowboys in the comment section if you want to get on today's show. I will make note, we are also on Rumble, and if we get to 1,000 followers on Rumble today, I will do a beer boot. I got it here. We are at 789 right now on Rumble. So go follow us right now, rumble.com/CowboysTV. Coming up at the end of today's show, we'll be doing Cowboys Report after hours over there, breaking down all of the Cowboys' needs, and I will talk about kickers. Yes, me. I'm going to talk about kickers today. I think that is the first time outside of like a particular mailbag question, even then I'm not sure, that I am talking about draft prospects at kicker. I don't think I've ever done it before, but we will do it on Rumble. So go follow us right now. It's rumble.com/CowboysTV. If you're already on Rumble and you're watching and you haven't already, do me that favor and follow. If we get to 1,000 today, by the end of that segment, beer boot. It's 3 beers. And I suck at it. I am terrible at this thing. So it's kind of like a, haha, Tom sucks. It's pretty funny type of deal there. So
we have a joke here around the office. Tom's like the Cowboys of drinking the boot.
There you go. I'm going to punch you in the face there. All right, let's get to our mailbag then instead, Jeremy. You guys are watching the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. It's mailbag time, which means I'm asking all of your questions that came in live during our weekly live shows here at the Dallas Cowboys Report. Super chat time from Andrew. Round 1, Jahan Dotson. Round 2, Tyler Smith. Kind of think Smith's gone by the time you're on the board in round 2. That is where I would feel much more comfortable taking him than a round 1 pick. It's way too early for Tyler Smith. I don't love Dotson round 1 either. I feel like you would be passing on just as good of players, if not better players, at equal positions of need. Demetrius Seymour, would you draft Christian Watts in the second round? I feel a lot better about Watts in round 2 than the round 1 buzz. I know he's big, he's athletic, he's also raw. He's not a great route runner. He hasn't had that many chances to catch passes in that offense. I get it. Someone might jump on the upside. Maybe he's DK Metcalf. Maybe he's Darius Hayward-Bay. That is not a locked and loaded, guaranteed developmental growth path for Christian Watson. DeLunatic, if we draft Linderbaum, will Joe Philbin consider moving Zach Martin to left guard and let McGovern play right guard? No. Philbin doesn't like McGovern, so it's not the case. I don't want to move Zach Martin. He's a Hall of Famer at right guard. I think he can play left guard just fine. Absolutely. But I don't want to create a potential problem by moving Martin. You move players, especially late in the process. Sometimes there are injuries. That's a very real thing. That's how Martin got hurt the first time around. So I don't really want to move Zach Martin. He's your right guard. He is the best right guard in the NFL. Don't tinker with that. Instead, you could draft left guard in round 2. I'm fine with that plan. Ethan Tyra, when asked about the Cowboys offseason, says F-, or at least F-. They've gotten considerably worse this offseason. I don't know about considerably, but they didn't get better. And that's an issue. From Freddie F., Bobby Wagner signed a 5-year deal with the Rams, bro. Yes, he did. If you watched our news rumors video from Thursday evening, we broke that down for you guys. It was a 5-year, $50 million deal for Wagner, which the Cowboys would never. From Jerry's extra kid. If Kyle Hamilton is on the board, would you take him? Hell yeah, I would. I'm glad someone asked about Kyle Hamilton, by the way, because, hey, I love safeties. The Kyle Hamilton discourse is absolutely out of control. I would sprint to the podium with the card saying Kyle Hamilton in my hand. Every draft analyst, even those now currently not for the most part, not quite everyone, but everyone a bit hyperbolic there, agreed he's a great talent. He can cover, he can stop the run, everything is awesome. Then he ran a not great 40, and you're like, oh no, he sucks. What are you talking about? First off, Kyle Hamilton is an elite athlete. The film, we all agreed, the film said great athlete. The testing numbers, despite not being a great 40-yard dash and having some iffy agility numbers, those say great athlete. I like to use the relative athletic scores, RAS, because relative matters. A 4.59 40-yard dash for a 5'11", 200-pound safety would not be great. For a 6'4", 220-pound safety, who, by the way, has great explosion and showed his range on film, yes. I don't understand how we've gone from, Kyle Hamilton's the top 5 player in this year's class for, pretty much everyone to, maybe he shouldn't go be safety 1. What are we talking about? I feel like we're just inventing narratives to talk about something different. Hamilton's an awesome player. I know people who didn't like Hamilton earlier on. That's fine. It's cool. But if your takeaway film-wise was, hey, Hamilton's awesome, like mine was, there is literally nothing that should have changed your mind on that. He's still a fantastic athlete. He's an awesome football player. He would be my dream draft pick for the Cowboys. That or a future franchise left tackle. So what do you guys think? Who is your dream draft pick for Dallas this year? Pin comment on today's video, so head down there and let me know. From Brett Alston, who chose the intro music? It's fire. That would be executive producer Brett Scott. Also, great name there between the two of you. So, Brett, I'll let the other Brett know you like the music choice. From Mr. Football Star 18, draft a gadget wide receiver. What are some good draft prospects this year? I'm going to answer it as, if you want a receiver who you can use on gadget plays, there are plenty of those guys this year. Treylon Burks could be that guy. Calvin Austin can be that type of player for you. Other undersized, speedy players in this year's class fit that type of mold. Jahan Dotson could kind of be that role. Derek King, if you want to go super, super late from that era. Wan'Dale Robinson. Those guys can be your gadget receiver. I don't want to only draft a gadget player, though. I would like to add a receiver who can play receiver and be used in a gadget role. From Gordo Gaming, where do the Cowboys rank in the NFC East next year? First. Look, the NFC East curse is real. I know. I think the Eagles got a little bit better, but you can ask the betting odds out there. Vegas, look at the overall talent still. It's the Cowboys. Doesn't mean they're going to win the division, but they should be viewed as the favorites, and they are, to win the NFC East. Then it's the Eagles. Then it's the Commanders and or Giants, I guess. From Scotty Montford, your opinion on Quay Walker, chance of him being on the board in round 2. I like Quay Walker a lot. I think he's a really good football player. I've got a second-round grade on him. Those Georgia boys this year on defense are special. They really are. That's the best defense I've seen in a very, very long time. So I don't know if he'll be there. I would wager he's probably linebacker 3 or 4 off the board, so probably gone. But I would love that pick in the second round from a pure talent standpoint. Speaking of the draft, Cowboys draft hats are now available at chatsports.com/CowboysDraft. Check the comment section and the description. We'll put that link in there for you guys. I don't like the white-on-white text. The blackout version, though, is much better because it's a little bit easier to see the Dallas against the Cowboys side. I think the black versions are way, way better than the other ones. There's a lot of different styles from like the adjustable, the snapback, the clip, whatever. Check them out. chatsports.com/CowboysDraft. From Roy Williams, I hope Jaquan Brisker is there. At number 56, he reminds me of Derwin James. Not going to comp him to Derwin. That feels like unrealistic expectations, but I like him a lot too. Second round grade. He spent most of his time in the box at Penn State. He's willing to hit. He's a little bit older, 23 as a first-year player. Great run fitter. Missed some tackles here because he was hurt. His shoulder was messed up. It wasn't an issue previously. It was just the injury. Had you not re-signed J-Ron Curse, I would have really liked Brisker, but I think their roles would overlap too much. Draft Matt Ariza, but why? You've signed your punter. You don't need him. You don't need him as your punter. You've kept Brian Anger. He is a bad kicker. I'm sorry, he's not going to kick in the NFL, so there's no point there. Jay Woolsey, will Sean Payton end up in Tampa Bay? No. Todd Bowles is their guy, so the Bucs are not going to be a threat for Sean Payton. I would be stunned if they simply it's not a super chat, by the way, coming up, Jeremy. I think that is a highly unlikely outcome for the Bucs to keep Sean Payton. Like, he's going to end up somewhere else if he does end up coming back to the NFL. From Dak for MVP, should do a fan mock draft. We will do that. We've done that in the past, probably 2 weeks, I'd say. Before the NFL draft, we will do a fan-led mock draft where you guys get to make the picks, so be aware of that. And make sure you guys are subscribed to tune in for it. We've got daily Dallas Cowboys videos, weekly live shows, and yes, we will do the Cowboys fan-led 7-round mock draft. If you want that, subscribe. That way you don't miss out on it at all. Lone Wolf, not a super chat. Would you have done the Wagner deal? Good question. It just says super chat up top. I would lean towards... I need to see the guaranteed money. I'll take the same cop-out answer that producer Jeremy gave to me earlier. I want to see the guaranteed money. If you can bail on it after 2 years, sure. The Cowboys would never have, so I kind of got over it. The deal that intrigued me the most, really, might have been Kaiser White, 1 year, $5 million. That one was pretty interesting. From Roger Moore, who are the day 2 or 3 interior linemen or editors that could make a year 1 difference in your opinion? It's a great question, my friend. Interior offensive linemen, if you trust the off-the-field stuff with Ed Ingram, that is a decent name to keep an eye out for. Other interior linemen, if you like, in terms of like being instant impact helps. Let me get my board up here. Maybe Jamari Saller, the Georgia kid, Sean Ryan out of UCLA, Dylan Parham, Cole Strange. Those guys might need a little bit more time, but I'm intrigued there. Luke Fortner out of Kentucky, another name there. Edge rushers. There's a lot of guys on day 2. Some possible day 3 names. I think it might be a bit thin by that point. Maybe somebody like a Nick Bonito slides to the 4th round. That would intrigue me. I don't think it's the 4th, probably more 3rd round. Travis Jones is a defensive tackle. Yeah, that'd be great there. I assume you meant interior, you meant offensive guard there. If you meant defensive tackle, good point there, Chugs. Definitely Travis Jones. Fidarian Mathis, I think, could be a good fit for you as well on day 2. Perrion Winfrey. I don't like DeMarvin Leal all that much, by the way. All right, Derek Dixon. Sign Cam Newton as a backup. Maybe. I don't think he'll be that expensive. It's a question of, do you think he's better than Cooper Rush at the cost? Because Rush is eminently affordable and was actually surprisingly good last year. Although I think we'd feel differently about about Cooper Rush had Zeke and Cooper not made fantastic plays down the stretch. Newton is not what he was in his prime. He's not starting. It's not who he is anymore. So if you want him as a backup, I don't hate that idea. 1 year vet min? Sure, I'm always down for those types of guys. What do you guys think, though? Do you want to sign Cam Newton? Type in S for sign or type in P for pass. Let me know in the comments section. From Brett, would you rather have a top 10 pick this year or last year? Unquestionably, it is last year. This top 10 pick class is not as good as last year's top 10 pick. Remember who went last year, right? And when this is benefit of hindsight here for certain. 3 QBs. Kyle Pitts was great year 1. Jamar Chase was great year 1. Jalen Waddle was great year 1. Penei Sewell was great year 1. Jay Storm was great before getting hurt. Surtain was great year 1. And Devonta Smith was great 1. Plus, you had guys like Micah Parsons, Rashawn Slater. All of those guys would have been top 5 minimum picks this year. Plus all the QBs. QBs weren't great, but you weren't taking a QB anyway. So it was definitely last year versus this year. MVP-ness. What do you think of the Cowboys taking Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State? MVP-ness. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's a good one. Bonk. MVP. I'd be happy with Jermaine round 1. I don't think he gets there. He actually kind of reminds me some of DeMarcus Lawrence from like play style of being a really good run stopper and also helping as a pass rusher. So I think he goes early. I think he's gone. I would be down with that pick in round 1, however. Andrew Espelita, Round 1, Logan Hall. Round 2, Jalen Petrie. Had you not re-signed Jaron Kearse, much like Jaquan Brisker, I would have loved Petrie round 2. I think he's gone before he gets to the pick there. I'd still take him. Round 1, that's too early for me for Logan Hall. I feel like that's reaching just to get an edge, and I don't want to do that if I don't have to. For my burner account, could the Cowboys entertain the idea of bringing back Cole Beasley? Maybe. I think a lot of Cole's issues were with Jason Garrett more than all of the Cowboys organization. There were some negative things said by Cole. Those would have to be sorted out. I think if you do sign Beasley, it's after the draft. In the event, let's say, you miss out on all the big-time receivers you want to take on day 1 and day 2. So will the Cowboys repeat as NFC East champs this season? Hasn't been done in a very, very long time. The curse is real. So let me know what you think. Y for yes or N for no. Alfredo Rodriguez, if Hamilton falls, I think the Cowboys will move up for him. They certainly can. I don't think that they would. That would be a bit of a surprise to me if they moved up for anybody this year. But crazy stuff happens after all. From Rex Morgan, would we draft a running back this year, anticipating Zeke will not be back in 23? I think you could. I don't think it would be early. If you take one before the 5th round, I'd actually be kind of surprised. Now, I'd be confused because he's not going to play over Zeke. He's not going to play over Pollard. So if you're drafting one, I'm fine with that. But it's got to be mid to late day 3 to be either RB3 or sneak him onto the practice squad in the end. How many rounds of the NFL draft do you normally watch? Let me know in the comments section while I sip some water here.
Glug, 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 glug.
Thank you, Jeremy. I of course, do all 7, and we will do all 7 live on Chat Sports. We'll be live. That link below, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. We will also be live at various points around the Cowboys pick here as well. What's
Guys,
up, Jeremy?
Don't worry. I'm in charge of games, so Tom will be doing some crazy stuff. I'll have him probably eating, drinking some weird concoctions for the draft, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll probably play the Make Tom P game again here, which I always lose, but is what it is there. Big super chat from Dwayne Jackson. We'll get to that here momentarily, my friend. Thank you, Dwayne. 7-7. Yeah, I mean, I'll be anchoring our Chat Sports coverage as always. Looking forward to that one there. From Dwayne, can we slap Catboy, a.k.a. Stephen Jones, like Will Smith did Chris Rock at the Oscars for doing next to nothing in free agency? The Jones have the ridiculous mindset that players should come cheap when coming to Dallas. He's right, you know. So that is a thing. The Joneses have said that because of all the things that go into being a Cowboy, you should play for less. Just ridiculous. The utter arrogance of that. And you're not slapping me today, Jeremy. Although, hey, you know what? If we get to 1,000 followers on Rumble today, you can slap me too. Probably not while I'm doing the beer boot, but you can slap me. Yeah, the beer boot. If we get to 1,000 followers on Rumble, rumble.com/CowboysTV, before the end of the Cowboys Report After Hours segment, we are at 790 right now. We know it'll jump right before we move over to start that, but go follow us, rumble.com/CowboysTV. If we get to 1,000, I'll let you guys slap me. I'll let Jeremy slap me, and I will attempt and fail in embarrassing fashion the beer boot. It's 3 beers in here, by the way, plus the bubble. I am not a chugger. I'm simply not good at it. It's not what I'm good at. I'm just bad, is what it is there. We're at 790 right now. I'll refresh that number. Still hanging out there. So 210 away. And I know not all, almost 500 of you guys watching right now have followed us. So the link's below, rumble.com/CowboysTV. Put the link in there as well as we get ready to do the 7-round mock draft, the one that was promised to you guys for quite a while here. Just wanted to wait and let free agency run its course a little bit more than what has been done in the past. So go follow us, rumble.com/CowboysTV. I know there's multiple of those in there, so you might be peeping the wrong one. There it is. 790,000 followers on Rumble today. Beer boot time. We will also have Cowboys Report after hours coming up on that Rumble only in half-ish hour, somewhere in that range. So stick around as we get ready for my latest 7-round mock draft here for the Dallas Cowboys. Start with share there, remember, Jeremy? Yeah. Samuel Rowe, Rumble? Yeah, it's another video platform we're on now as we try to dominate everywhere and hit other people who aren't just on YouTube or aren't just on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. It's rumble.com/CowboysTV. Don't know what AF is tweeting in there, but I like it. All right, let's do it. We're about to get to my 7-round mock draft here momentarily. And if you want a 7-round Cowboys mock draft with trades, then share this video on social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And you can also let me know how I did on this mock draft. Today's Cowboys Report is presented by Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping on all of the incredible men's grooming products at manscaped.com when you use promo code COWBOYS at checkout. That is the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker, the Ultra Premium Collection, the Performance Package. Everything is on sale when you use promo code COWBOYS. Let's get then to my latest 7-round mock draft. First up, some players who went off the board in round 1. Some of them hurt. The Eagles, boned me twice, Tyler Linderbaum and Derek Stingley, 16 and 19. I hate that. That's not great. Zion Johnson at 17 to the Chargers, Drake London and Chris Olave off the board at wide receiver. So with the way the board fell, really came down to 2 players. Ended up not being that hard for me in the end. I'm going to go with Kenyon Green, the interior offensive lineman out of Texas A&M, who entering the combine was most people's offensive guard 1, and now some have Zion Johnson, and those guys are neck and neck for me. Only one was there. Green did play all over the offensive line at A&M. He will likely be best at left guard, and I would be surprised if he's better anywhere else. His athletic ability, his traits, his play style all fit better at the left guard spot than, say, tackle. And Green really did play everywhere on the O-line. His numbers are actually pretty astounding when you consider this fact. In 3 consecutive games last year at Texas A&M, Kenyon Green got a start at right guard, and then left guard, and then left tackle. That's really friggin' tough to do, even at the college level. Larry Warford is my player comparison here for Kenyon Green. The other guy that I was strongly considering here was Treylon Burks out of Arkansas. I really thought about going receiver there, but we, of course, heard from Stephen Jones himself say, yeah, unless someone special's there, we're going to take offensive line. I don't know if they consider Burks quite inside that conversation. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to go offensive guard there in round 1 because, damn, I need help. So what do you think? Who do you want to draft in round 1 this year? Is it Green? Somebody else altogether? Let me know. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Round 2, this hurt. I'm not going to lie. I was planning to go receiver in round 2. Not only did a bunch of the good receivers go off the board, Sky Moore, George Pickens, etc., the edge rushers really, and quickly too, got picked off. Not George Pickens, but the edge rushers went gone. Ajabo, Boye Mafe, Sam Williams. All of a sudden, there were 2 edges that I liked and a couple more receivers. So I said, okay, let's gamble on a receiver or 2 sliding. I'm going to go edge here. And I'm going to go with actually the one I like more than most of these guys that went before there, Arnold Ebiketie out of Penn State. He's not Micah Parsons. Don't look at just the Penn State, but he had a major breakout year after transferring from Temple It is very rare that you see a player go from G5 to Power 5 and basically double his level of production. That is astoundingly rare, and it makes me feel really good about Ebiketie as a future NFL player. Long arms, great athletic ability. Power's a bit lacking. That's okay. He's going to be opposite DeMarcus Lawrence long-term for me, and his production was awesome at Penn State. I got a player comp for you guys here as well. How about Harold Landry? Now, maybe not quite the same level long-term, but we're talking similar draft ranges and athletic profiles as well. I misspoke. There were some receivers on the board for me. Christian Watson was there. George Pickens was there. Jalen Petrie, Travis Jones. The edge group was really thinned out. I didn't think anyone was going to slide further along for me, so I wanted to make sure I took an edge because the Cowboys have told you they still want edge rusher help. And I actually think Ebiketie could sneak in the back end of round 1. So that was the value for me as well. Today's show is powered by Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. This is the perfect package, much like the Cowboys Report. But this serves a much different role than anything else. Manscaped.com. Use promo code Cowboys for 20% off and free shipping. That's the perfect package and the performance package. A little bit extra goodies there as well. There's a wide array of products at manscaped.com. So go check it out and use promo code Cowboys for 20% off and free shipping. Don't delay. It'll lead to some more success off the field. Like your boy who has a 4-month-old daughter, there is a direct correlation between Manscaped coming on and that happening. That's not an accident right there. Manscaped.com, promo code Cowboys. All right, some round 3 guys off the board. Myjai Sanders was gone. The receivers also went in between my round 2, round 3, including David Bell, Romeo Doubs, Pickens, Watson. A bunch of receivers got sniped from me, which hurt, I'm not going to lie. That didn't go the ideal way for me in round 2 or in round 3. However, I got a little fun player at number 88. That's Calvin Austin III out of Memphis. Is he small? Yes. Austin is a very, very tiny person. Despite being under 5'8", 170 pounds, he tested like an elite athlete. That factors in the size. And he brings something this team doesn't really have. And that's speed. Both deep speed and short area quickness. I think late third round really, is very proper value. You know, he's kind of built like Marquise Goodwin. And also like that Chiefs-Dolphins receiver that we're never going to compare players to because that's not fair. So we're going with Marquise Goodwin there. Now, Austin also offers punt return value, which I think matters. If you want to play Lamb in the slot, I think you could give Austin outside receiver reps as well, just like Marquise Goodwin did and other similar electric receivers have. He's never going to contest the catches. Never going to. All the issues that come with not being big apply to Austin. But third round, I love it. I almost picked the Boise kid, by the way, because you know how the Cowboys love those guys. I will say what surprised me was Kingsley Enagbare fell to round 3. Now, I don't love him that much. I want more pass rush juice. But about tight end 2 with Jeremy Rucker. But I think, and this is the gamble I'm taking here, I think in the 4th round, there will be a good tight end for me on the board. So what do you think is the biggest need right now for the Dallas Cowboys? Is it offensive line? It's mine. Is it receiver? Tackle? Tight end? Let me know in the comments section. All right, sniped with 2 tight ends. 125, Jelani Woods off the board, and 127, Cade Otton, both of whom the Cowboys have shown very real interest in for this year's draft class. Here's the good news. Not all of the tight ends were gone. Iowa State's Charlie Kolar is the pick here at number 129. And this is a great example for me of why studying players and closely watching their film is so important beyond just watching them live. I miss things all the time in my live watching as opposed to the film study. I didn't think Kolar was that great of an athlete watching live. I'm an idiot. Totally wrong on that front. He shows up on film, tested great at the combine, and even like studying closely, I'm like, actually, you know what? Iowa State used him more as a slot receiver than they did as an inline tight end, which feels significant from that standpoint. Now, Kolar was great. He was highly productive despite being dealing with a bad QB. He's not great as a pass blocker yet. I think there's limited run after catchability. That sounds like Zach Ertz to me. From the athletic standpoint, from the skills or strengths and weaknesses. Not saying he'll be as good, but that's the comparison from a play style standpoint, which was good because there were no other tight ends on the board. I almost done messed up there real bad, folks, but we got lucky. Others on the board, too, kind of sort of edges. Jesse Luketa is a linebacker edge hybrid. Nick Cross, if you want to go safety. John Ridgeway, a potential defensive tackle, help stop the run. Dominique Robinson. I like fourth-round tight end options. Glad there was one there, or else this would have been a not fun mock draft. Now, if you want daily Cowboys videos and weekly live shows, including the upcoming live Cowboys fan-led mock draft, then subscribe. YouTube.com/Cowboys TV if you want those daily and weekly Cowboys videos for you. All right, round 5. We'll go quicker here because these are not household names. I'm actually higher on most than Zach Tom. Not a name bias thing, by the way. He was really good at Wake Forest as a left tackle. Tested awesome at the combine. He's a 3-year starter. I like him in pass protection more so than run blocking. He is a little bit light. He's a tweener. I get that. Some think he's a tackle. Some say he's guard. He's a center. Okay, I will find a spot for him. Maybe it's center for this particular Cowboys team. But doesn't have great power. That's kind of a common trend for a lot of the centers in this year's class. But I think he should be a top 100 pick. I'm getting him here outside top 150. I think that's great value. He can compete with Tyler Biadasz to be my center. And if he doesn't win that job, that's okay. I've got a really good backup interior offensive lineman down the road. Similar testing and frames, not talent. Joel Bitonio. And we also had some similar, like, where does he play in the NFL for Zach Tom. I got a safety. Suck it, producer Brett. Brian Cook in the 5th round, number 167 overall. I think with all the other great Cincinnati prospects this year, Kobe Bryant, Sauce Gardner, Desmond Ridder, even Jerome Ford, Alec Pierce, Myjai Sanders, Cook's been a little bit overlooked. Now, he's a good tackler and super long wingspan. That is exactly the type of thing that Dan Quinn would love to add in a safety. I think he's being a little bit overlooked by most major media outlets out there. I know NFL.com loves him. I'm not that high on him. I think you're looking at a potential early day 3 sleeper here. No athletic testing. A red flag on film for me, by the way. All right, our another 5th round pick, Max Mitchell out of Louisiana, who I think it's Pro Football Focus loves him. I'm not so sure. He's got good technique. Those Louisiana boys on that offensive line, they are coached really well. Their technique is a lot more polished and advanced than most of the draft prospects you'll come across, and that is also true for Mitchell. I see swing tackle in the NFL. Didn't test that great at the combine. Was listed sub 300 pounds by Louisiana. Checked in at 307 at the combine. Did he add too much mass and lose some athletic ability? Maybe. Even in this photo, you can kind of see it's a little bit skinny for a lineman. He did not test like him, but I got some Connor Williams vibes from him. Now, of course, you're getting Connor Williams comparison. Don't take it as an actual talent level, but just like play style and athletic ability in the 5th round. That's a great pick. Potential swing tackle who mostly played right tackle in college, but has also played left tackle and left guard. Danny Gray out of SMU, the local boy. You want more speed, right? Here's one. 4.33 40-yard dash on the juiced-up track this year at the Combine in Indy. Quez Watkins type of receiver for me. There were drop issues for SMU. He doesn't have great power. I love this part. He was listed by SMU At 6'1", 180. Yeah, he's under 6 foot and 186. I love program size. They lie all the time. But he gets to play for his hometown team. I got a 5th-round grade on him. Perfect value for me. Final pick coming up. So would you take a kicker/punter here? Now, you're probably not going to take a punter because you signed Brian Anger. But would you go? I'll throw in the Matt Ariza type of conversation here, since that always wants to happen, regardless of if it makes sense or not. Would you draft a kicker or a punter? Y for yes or N for no? I couldn't do it. Hassan Haskins in round 6, number 193. You could probably stash him if you needed to on the practice squad. Big-time production this past year for the Michigan Wolverines. And why I like him, day 3, willing and able pass protector. He's good in that area. Not as good as Kyron Williams of Notre Dame, but he's good there. Wasn't that involved in the third down side. That's a factor there, but he had 20 touchdowns. If you take it back, he's probably not going to play year 1. You've got Tony Pollard, you've got Zeke Elliott, plus you also technically have Rico Dowdle. Haskins versus Dowdle for RB3. The loser hopefully is stashed on the practice squad in the end. So grade my mock draft. You can be honest here. A, B, C, D, or F. How do you feel about what I was able to do in my 7-round Dallas Cowboys mock draft? Grade it for me. A, B, C, D, or F. In case you weren't paying attention, let's recap it. Kenyon Green, round 1, plug-and-play left guard out of Texas A&M. Arnold Ebiketie, edge rusher, Penn State. I love the value there at 56. He will be my long-term starter opposite DeMarcus Lawrence and an early down situational pass rusher, or early career pass rusher. Calvin Austin, receiver, got some speed there, 3rd round. Charlie Kolar, well, I don't think you're going to pay Dalton Schultz. There's your long-term tight end, 4th round. Zach Tom, who I actually like a lot. I'm higher on him than most. I'm surprised more people aren't talking about him. And Brian Cook, 2 sleepers there in the 5th round. Swing tackle Max Mitchell out of Louisiana. Some more receiver speed in Danny Gray. And another offensive player in Hassan Haskins in round 6. Shout-out time now. Jeremy gave me a B because he wanted to go receiver, which I agree. I wanted to go receiver earlier. I also did not want to get blown out up against all the edges, which I was scared of happening. Almost did, by the way. So I went edge earlier. We'll do more mock drafts to mix it up there. It's all good there.
What I told Tom what he should have done is he should have gotten receiver in round 2, George Pickens, and then round 3, taking Kingsley, Anagbear out of South Carolina.
Enigbari.
Yes.
K.E., how about that?
Yes.
How about South Carolina's king? Had you guaranteed me Kingsley was there, might have been the route I'd gone. If I had done trades, maybe I would have taken receiver and then tried to move up for an edge. But I was scared of being wiped out at edge because there were 4 of them off the board like the 5 picks before.
Drafting scared, you sound like Catboy.
I ain't drafting scared.
Drafting scared, you sound like Catboy.
I'm drafting smart. That's what I'm doing. That is what I am doing. So just to be clear on that front, I'm drafting smart, and that was a smart draft in the end. All right, drafting scared means you're scared of high risk players. All right, calm down.
Calm down.
Mostly B's in there, which is fine. Adams is not enough fat guys on the O line. Man, it took 3 offensive linemen, and Kenyon Green is a big boy. Also, I don't know if fat is what you want on the offensive line. People are now calling me Catboy Tom. All right. Whatever. Hey, if you had listened to me, you wouldn't have had Tristan Hill on this team.
You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
That'll be me if I ever get to become owner, let's be honest. A, B, C, D, or F, keep those grades coming. And before we go to Rumble only here in 15-ish minutes, one more mailbag. Use hashtag Cowboys or Super Chat like Ethan Tyra did. We'll get to his question here momentarily. So use that, hashtag Cowboys or Super Chat to get on the show. Now, after the mailbag wraps up, we will also have an exclusive Rumble segment running through all of the Cowboys' needs. There will be some cussing. There'll be some language. And if it gets to 1,000 followers on Rumble before the end of that segment, I'll do the beer boot. All right? We are at 793 right now. So we're getting closer. Inappropriate. But I want to get to 1,000 today because we're getting beat by our Giants channel. We're getting beat by our Raiders channel, our Chiefs channel, and those, like, some of those teams are ass. So, like, go follow us right now at rumble.com/CowboysTV. 793 right now is the number I'm seeing. So I put the link in there. We are also live on Rumble right now. So you click that link, follow, and then we'll get going on that exclusively here in just a little bit. 793, 1,000 today. I'll do a beer boot, which, by the way, I suck at these. Like, there's a good chance I just kind of spit up a little bit. Like, it does not go well for me.
Trust me, guys. Tom might be as bad at drinking the boot as he is doing mock drafts.
You can shut your mouth. I can't wait till we get to Rumble because I'm going to cuss you out so hard, Jeremy. Jesus. All right. Rumble.com/CowboysTV. Charles is big mad. You absolutely need a receiver. You are insane if you think otherwise. Like, come on. Let's not be crazy here, fellas. 2022. All right. Go follow us. Rumble.com/CowboysTV. In the meantime, mailbag coming up next. This is the Dallas Cowboys Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Tom Downey. It's mailbag time on the Cowboys Report, answering all of your questions from our live audience. Super chat from Ethan Tyra to get things going. Trade out of the first with the Jets. Sign Dotson. I assume you mean take Jahan Dotson. And have an additional second rounder. So I want to double check. I don't know if you can get a second rounder. Let me check here. Jets go from 35 to 24. Let's double check my math via the trade value chart. You're going to get roughly you'd be getting probably their third round pick back. You're not going to get both seconds. Not a chance. So, third round pick, okay. It depends on who's on the board. I might want to stand pat at 24 in that case. From Brett, if I'm watching, no safety talk here for producer Brett. There you go. Hey, they say safety. They say super chats only. But producer Brett's not in here right now. Let me whisper so he doesn't hear me across the room. So it's all fine. From my burner account, Tom, Stephen Jones, he needs an intern. Unpaid, of course. Catboy Tom. For the record, I don't like this bit. This is not fun for me. All right, from Green Candle Guy. How good did we really think the defense would be day one last season versus now? If we were being honest with our expectations, and this is what I said many a time, I was hoping for league average. If you get me league average, team was going to make some noise. And they did until the offense collapsed. I would guard against regression. That tends to happen if you play better QBs like the Cowboys will this year in terms of non-division games. Wentz sucks, and they've already played Hurts. He'll be a little bit better. Not sure he's the guy. Daniel Jones ain't the guy either. So the defense, I think, could regress. Just give me top 10. Give me top 10, and I feel good about this team. From Senior Cat Boy with a literal cap in his profile picture there. Trade for DK Metcalf. You should know, based on your profile name, the Cowboys would never do that. I would. You can have my first rounder for DK Metcalf, and I will happily pay him $25 million a year, and I'll have DK Metcalf and Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb, and when it's eventually time to, pay CeeDee Lamb, I'll move on from Michael Gallup, like they just did with Amari Cooper. Okay, no complaints there. I love that idea. It's not going to happen. If a team trades for Metcalf, it'd be like the Packers or something. Like, that's who would trade for Metcalf, Green Bay. Not the Cowboys. It's not how they do business. It's not. It's a great idea, but it's not going to happen. So what I want you guys to do right now, speaking of trades, is name a player who you want the Dallas Cowboys to trade for. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if that ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know who you want the Cowboys to go trade for. From Brandon, If he falls, think the Cowboys would take the linebacker from Utah. That is Devin Lloyd. The Cowboys have said they don't view linebacker as a big need. Now, I think from their grade standpoint, they might be pretty damned high on Devin Lloyd. So I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't be mad at it either. But I don't know if they'd actually do it. From Todd Jordan, what about Joshua Pascal out of Kentucky? That is the edge rush in the second or third round. You can talk me into the third. My issue with him is that I think from the very limited film I've done so far, I think he would have been more of a DeMarcus Lawrence replacement. I kind of think you have a similar-ish player in Chauncey Golston. I wouldn't be mad at that pick in the third round. It gives me another edge guy, but I think they want a little bit more high-end juice than Pascal. The Cowboys Report, folks, is also on Rumble. Go follow us and support us over there at rumble.com/CowboysTV. Every week, including this past week, we've got the Cowboys Report After Hours segment, exclusively live on Rumble. So go follow us, rumble.com/CowboysTV. From Provokin, would you be fine taking Lloyd or Williams if they fall? Also, when I said, gee, I meant so terrible they don't deserve it. Now I get what you mean there. Define fall. I assume you mean 24 for Devin Lloyd. Sure. I assume you mean third round for Sam Williams. Yes, if you trust the off-field. It's not a talent thing for me. He's a top 50 talent. It is hey, is the character right? And the team would know better than us in the end. From Bryce Purser, Linderbaum, Sky Moore, Tyndall, rounds 1, 2, 3. I'm in. Where do I sign? I doubt Sky Moore falls to you. You've also still got to figure out left guard. Now, maybe you go sign somebody. I assume you would in this scenario. But, yeah, I would be all aboard those 3 picks. Jordan, chances to take Chad Muma in the second. Again, I don't think they're going to go linebacker early this year. Not the vibe I'm getting from their own statements, the Joneses' statements about linebacker. That's where I have him graded, second round. I'd be happy with it, but I think they're really expecting on Jabril Cox to have a massive breakout season. For my burner account, Sean Chappis and David Arkin. Arkin, was he Montana State, or is he somewhere else? I think he was a small school kid, but I remember Arkin. He was a 4th rounder. Those are indeed, my friend, Cowboys legends. From Gregory, Tom, do you think Joseph Kellerness will start this year? And will they get 3 or more picks this season? I think they're going to give him every chance to start. If he does, sure. I think you might see teams throw more at Joseph than Diggs this past year. Just given the whole, maybe stop throwing at Diggs and getting picked off every other game. Probably a good idea. So, yeah, I hope he starts. Second round pick last year. I want him to earn that job. From Braden Breedlove, if Derek Stingley falls to 24, do the Cowboys pass? I think if they trust the player off the field and injury-wise, that would fall into Jerry's CeeDee Lamb side of it. Of you're probably not going to go that route, but it's the blinking red light phrase they've used before, ironically about Connor McGovern recently, because the scouts love him and your coaches hate him. I think if he's there, I would take him. I would also wonder if he is there, does that mean there's something wrong medically? And if that's the case, and they don't have and they flunk him on the medical, he might not be the pick then. We got daily Cowboys videos for you guys right here on the Dallas Cowboys Report. Hit that big red button and subscribe. That way you don't miss out on anything here around the Dallas Cowboys. From Jack Andre, what do you think of Alec Pierce? He plays the game the right way. I don't know what that means. That's just no. I don't want to be mean here, but what does play the game the right way mean for a receiver? Do you mean route running? Because he's not a great route runner, to be honest. I know Chris Sims thinks so. to answer your question, I like Alec Pierce a lot. He's got a second-round grade on me because he's big and he's super fast. And honestly, there were a lot of plays I thought he made Desmond Ridder look better than what maybe Ridder should have been on the throw. So I'm a big fan of Alec Pierce. He is like my dream third-round pick. I doubt he's there, but that would be the ideal outcome for me at receiver in the third round. Chris Romero, should we try to ask the Jags about Chason and Laviska? Too many edges and receivers in Jacksonville. I think both those guys are on the block. I think that's the case. Chason, if you don't get an edge, yeah, go ahead and offer a late day 3 pick. Laviska Shenault, I think there's even less market in Laviska than there is Chason right now because got some medical stuff and hasn't been great in Jacksonville. Both guys' values are pretty low. I'd probably call Chason first because the Cowboys, had Lamb not been there, I think he was going to be the pick for the Cowboys in round 1. From Rex Morgan, players don't want to play for the Cowboys anymore. The luster's gone. Yeah, I mean, I think they want to go get titles, right? Like the allure of a team like the Chiefs or the Bucks or the Rams, who have all won titles in recent years, that's more appealing than, oh yeah, let me go play for the star. Like, that luster left when the Cowboys stopped winning titles. Yes, they're a big-time brand. Of course that's the case. But I think this self-idea from the Cowboys' own team of we're special is wrong. And frankly, I think it hurts them more than it helps them in the end. Sometimes players buy into it. Jalen Smith did, and we know how that went in the end. So what do you think? Among all the NFL teams, power ranking style, where do the Cowboys rank in the NFL? Let me know in the comments section. From True Canary, draft John Mechie on day 2. It's a good name. That's a good name for the Cowboys as a second-round option. Kind of why I suspect if the board falls the right way that he could be an option for the Cowboys in the second round. I doubt he falls to the third round, but weird stuff happens comes draft day. Hat trick 1, 2, 3. What do you think about Leo Chenal? What round will he go? I was actually pretty high on Chenal before the Combine. Now, he blew up at the Combine. Everyone's like, second-round pick. I'm like, I've been here with a second-round grade on Chenal. Throwback linebacker 15, 20 years ago, that dude's going round 1. And we're talking about him in the same breath as Devin Lloyd and Nakobe Dean. But he's got coverage concerns. You know what? You know what I think ends up happening to Leo Chenal? Patriots take him round 2 as their Donta Hightower potential replacement. That's what you're hoping for out of Chenal because he is a classic Patriots linebacker. From Nixon didn't do it. All right, first off, yes, he did. Secondly, would you trade for Tyron Smith for a first? What level first am I getting? Because I see 4 guys at left tackle that I feel truly confident in plugging in day 1 as my starter on a contender. That's Charles Cross, in no particular order, Charles Cross, Ike Mekwonu, Trevor Penning, and Evan Neal. So if I am getting a pick to take one of those guys, and I'm not quite sold on Penning, but for this conversation, we'll allow it here because the Cowboys like him, then I would do it. But I don't think I'm going to get a top 10 pick for Tyron Smith. And if I trade him away, well, now I am in desperate need of a left tackle, and I'm creating a need that I would then have to immediately fill with that pick. So I would have to get a premium pick, and I don't think that ends up happening for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, long term, tackle does remain a concern. Maybe Josh Ball's your guy. Who knows? How many more years will Tyron Smith play in the NFL? Let me know in the comments section. How many more years do you think he has left in the tank? From Jesus Christ, my round 1, 2, and 3 mock draft. Brisker, Smith, and Jamari Saylor. I love Saylor in the 3rd. I don't like anything else. I mean, you have athletes. I don't like Brandon Smith that much. He's a 4th round grade for me. I'm moving to edge, actually. I don't think he's a linebacker. He doesn't know what he's doing out there. And I feel like I am required to say I love safety round 1. I actually don't like that pick all that much. All right, for my burner account, Tom, are we the Knicks of the NBA? Kinda. The Cowboys have at least made it to the playoffs a bit more frequently than the Knicks. But from like a brand recognition status to actual success in the postseason, kinda. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a pretty apt comparison. For Mr. Payne, 522. Regarding the first round, in what scenarios could the Cowboys trade up and trade down? I think the scenario is similar for both. It is the board is not going the way you thought it was going to. If you're getting really picked over, you might try to trade up to go get the last guy you want, or trade down and do the whole Travis Frederick move where you go back into round one, take a guy that not everyone else loves, but you got an extra pick, so it's fine. Or if the board is really going your way, if there's like 4 QBs in the top 20, you might trade down and still get a good player in the end. From Frosty J, you think Sauce could fall to us? Never say never in the NFL draft, but no. Maybe if there's a bong video a la Laramie Tunsil, it could happen, but I'd be pretty damned shocked if Sauce got out of the top 15, let alone to barely the top 25. All right, coming up next, folks, we are going over to Rumble only. I'll put that link as I accidentally put a number in there because I copied the wrong thing. We're going... Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I was trying to get the link in there. We're going to Rumble only. We're not going to loop on YouTube or Facebook. We're going to end those streams. Rumble only. I already see some comments from MG Daniels and Womp. We'll get you guys some shout-outs here in a minute. We're switching to Rumble only. As of right now, there are almost 400 people watching live on YouTube right now. If you go over to Rumble, rumble.com/Cowboys TV, and you follow us, subscribe, it's the same term, right? And we get to 1,000 before the end of our live video on Rumble, I will do the beer boot, and I will let producer Jeremy slap me like I'm Chris Rock and he's Will Smith. No censorship. And I'll be dropping a lot of F-bombs, by the way, because I got thoughts, and I want to. I've been bottling up some emotions towards Jeremy. I'm going to take out today. Rumble, by the way, is another video platform out there. Built on not having the censorship over there. Meaning, I can cuss, I can say all kinds of stuff. Yes, producer Jeremy on that side. You're not going to be limited by the cancel culture, for example. So I use it to swear a little bit more frequently than what I might otherwise do. So get over there, rumble.com/Cowboys TV. That link is in there right now. I'm spamming it in there. So too is my boy Jeff. 30 more seconds, then we're cutting the YouTube and Facebook stream. We'll go to only Rumble. I'll give some shout-outs here for the people who are in there once we fully switch over right there. We're past 800 subscribers now on Rumble, but if I know not all 350 of you watching on YouTube right now are following us over there. So go do it.
10 more seconds.
Yeah, go do it.
9.
So you better go quickly.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Later.